Happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome back to our channel. This is Miss JD, and I'm here to review once again the additional stocks you have requested. Thank you to those who have watched our video yesterday. I hope one of those stocks is one or two of those stocks are in your portfolio, so you can be prepared for the action on Monday. Anyway, we have more. We have more stocks to review tonight. If this is your first time to watch my video, I'm inviting you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you're updated whenever I have a new video. And likewise, I'm also inviting you to join me in Patreon. I have a Patreon account, so if you want to have a more personalized conversation with Miss JD, and I have a lot of stuff that I post in there. In fact, I started sharing schedules of dividends in the U.S. market, and I have actually created a calendar so that we are always on time and we know when these stocks are going to release their dividends. So I have created that and added that in my Patreon, so you could easily access and strategize your trades so that you could take advantage of one, capital gains, number two, of course, additional revenue from the dividend. Okay, so I'm going to put my Patreon account in the description as well. And if you're considering to trade the US market, I have the eToro link, another very good platform that we can use to trade the US market and any other indices as well, because there are a lot of indices included in eToro. Okay, so let's begin. I will first discuss some of these stocks. I have DMC, PureGold, SEC, MWC, FLC, FLI, Maxis, and a few more from our trending stocks over here. I think if I can remember it right, I stopped at JFC, if I'm not mistaken, from our video yesterday, but I can check that again. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about DMC. DMC is currently at the overbought level, as you can see right here. In our RSI, it's at the overbought area, but let us see if we are. Okay, well, what's interesting though is that we've broken out of a short-term resistance. And that is because I see this level, and this is where you had some consolidation as well, and right on this day we had a breakout. So even though this is an overbought area, if it is going to retrace, I think the first area it will probably stabilize at is the 511 area, which used to be a resistance and a support at this point. So it can there's a big chance that there will be a continuation to the upside because we came from a very heavy drop or or a massive sell-off that happened in the first quarter of 2020. So currently it is just starting its uptrend, and if you will see some declines, I'd say those are just short-term declines, as some traders are also taking profit or institutions are taking profit, hence the correction or the slight drop in the price. So if it is going to drop, I'd say take advantage of that discount that you can get if you still want to enter. 511 is the support that I can see at the moment. Now in case that gets broken, then 476 is the next one. Okay, but definitely still a lot of room for us to increase the price. Imagine this, how much has it dropped from we'll just take a look at the last quarter or 2019, from a 1365 to around 5 peso for this year. Okay, March, November. Is there a scheduled dividend for this stock anytime soon? 2019. So maybe there's another one before the year ends, right? So let's just wait and see. Definitely, we are just starting to recover for TMC. Pure Gold. As for Pure Gold, what's interesting in Pure Gold, the other day we talked about this, right? I mentioned that there was a decline. However, while the price was moving downwards, we've already seen this um, hint, okay, that it is about to bounce anytime soon. And I actually like what it did right now. We are we have officially crossed the MA20 line, so I'm thinking there will be some more movements going up. And yeah, it has been, for the past 2 months, it's been on a decline because, well, of course, while the rest were really showing some weakness, Pure Gold has been rallying for several months, and right now I think we have reached an area where um, people find the price already attractive and reasonable at its level. So I feel like we are going to be bouncing and moving higher and higher in the coming days. We already broke the downtrend channel, as you can see here. Previously, this is your downtrend channel. Okay, do you see that? So each time the price hits that level, there's a rejection that's happening, and when it bounces, the increase in the price is much lower than the previous bounce. You see that? So at this point, with the candlestick that happened last Friday, that was already the breakout of Pure Gold to its downtrend channel. So I see the stock moving higher and higher in the coming days. So you just have to decide which level you want to enter. From 41 to 60 to 43 level, I feel that that's still a good area to enter. SCC. SCC at this point is, well, it has already, so notice this, when a stock dips and it gives you a lot of selling pressure for 3 consecutive days or more, then chances are it will bounce right away. So look at this. When this stock rallied significantly for how many days straight? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 days straight, then you will have profit taking. So I think same is true with this one. So we have already been, well, what's good here is that it rested a bit, okay, and then it continued. Now the nearest resistance that I can see at the moment is right over here, where you had so as you move higher, you have to screen to the left. As you also look to the left, start looking at it to the upside. So the nearest area where I see a consolidation is right over here. This price level, each time that area is hit, there's a rejection in the price, and then the price starts to go down. So because there was a breakdown in the price, then it dropped right over here, and it's now showing some recovery. And as we go near to that area again, expect that two things can happen. It could easily break that, or there will be some slowdown in the movement, similar to what happened here. So it has to first break that. Now, if there's good volume, right? If there's good news about SCC, then chances are it will easily break that. However, if it is not, then there will be some weakness and you will experience some dips and retracement as well. Now, so try to understand first what your objective is, why you want to enter in this stock. So if you are merely trading this stock, I'd say this is not an area where you will enter yet. You can either enter if it bounces around the MA20 line, or if you encounter a breakout at the resistance level. Okay, so don't enter yet because if you are going to enter, your profit taking area or your risk to reward ratio is not that ideal yet, 2.7, right? And like if you wait for it to break out of that, then you have a lot more to in terms of profit taking or risk to reward. Your reward ratio is much better than the risk ratio. Okay. Overall, now again, I'd like to emphasize that it's really important that you have to remind yourself why you're getting in this stock, because if you're a long-term investor, you wouldn't really mind because you're after this potential. See that you wanna stay here for a much longer time, and you want to take advantage of the recovery that might happen in the near future. And that near future I'm referring to is still, no one can predict how long it will take to see recovery. It can sometimes happen very quickly, but in some occasions it might take months or even years. So be prepared. So what I'm going to do now is just plot an area where you have your nearest support, and this is your nearest resistance. So you might want to consider a breakout, an official candlestick ending outside of 12.04, or you wait for it to touch the around 11.13 to 11.15 area before you can enter again. Overall, your RSI is still at a healthy level. See that? Okay, so that is for SCC. MWC, okay, nice bounce for MWC. So from a sideways, then it officially broke the MA20 line, so it went higher than MA20. So and we are starting to trigger the upper Bollinger Band. You see that? We're starting to push the price higher. So I see this stock moving higher and higher in the coming days. However, we all know that there will be fluctuation in the price, so try to be conservative and see if you can haggle for a few cents. Probably 1270 would be a much better entry. This one over here used to be a resistance, so most likely if you officially break that, then it can create a support at that level. Overall, there's still a lot of room for this price to also continue higher and higher. Okay, so notice what I mentioned earlier. When the price level goes high, just try to backtrack a bit. Look at this. While the price was moving higher, your RSI is also declining. And what happened next? It declined. So that's your sign. When the price continues to move higher and your RSI is declining, chances are in the coming days your stock will rest. And that's what happened here. It rested, and this time around it is starting to recover. And one promising setup that we see right now here is that when it dipped, it created a higher low. So looks like we are now reversing, and it will most likely continue an uptrend this time. A higher low, so this one is higher than the previous one, and then when it moved up, so it moved up, right? And then when it dipped, it created a higher low, and then when it bounced, it's much higher this time than this previous high over here. So we're about to face an uptrend channel. So this is already a good sign. You might be experiencing an uptrend for this stock. It could. So let me just remove this so it's clearer. Do you see that? When it dropped, it's much higher. Then when it bounced, this one over here is higher than this one. So most likely we will continue to move higher and higher. Next one is FLC. FLC, what is the action here? Okay, so this used to be a resistance for FLC right here. Reason for that is when you look to the left, this is your resistance. You have a resistance here, and when we reached a resistance in this level, it consolidated first. Looks like it created a flag pattern, and then we broke out of it. So I think we already managed to break out of this resistance, and we might see some more movements going up. November 13, yeah, okay. But okay, there is again a resistance nearby, and I see it around 23.32. So I'd say if I'm to evaluate the stock, this is already on the expensive side, so be extra careful because this has already climbed up. Look at this from 10 peso level, now it's on a 22 peso area. So be careful because any moment from now, this stock could reach this level and experience a breakdown as well. Okay, so maybe consider looking at other stocks. And if you're already profitable for FOC, make sure not to forget, take profit because this is already a profit taking area. Even though I said that this is a breakout, but try to also consider that there is another resistance nearby. Maxis. Okay, Maxis, we are at a resistance area as well. Okay, look at that. We had a gap up, but it was also filled very quickly. This is a resistance because if you look to the left, you have this. Okay, so what we need here, the most ideal picture here is when this thing breaks your 682 level. That is a much better picture, and I'd say overall, if you're to look at it, we're not at the price level is still very attractive because it has been consolidating in this area, and while we moved higher, so our RSI is already at a healthier level. Just wait for it to break out of this. I think that's a much better picture. Overall, we are just starting to show some recovery. Look at that. At one point, it even reached a 30s level, and we're just in the 6 peso area. So for those people who are interested in, let's say, Maxis, just stay there for a much longer period, and you'll see the fruits of your patience when everything's back to normal, which I know we are already starting to be in that period. Businesses are starting to open, and that I would assume that's the reason why we, for the past 4 months, we are showing some bullish signs here. So again, this is a resistance area in the short term, but overall, if I'm addressing the mid to long term investors, we are just starting our bullish movement. So at least the momentum is there. We're showing signs of recovery. Look at this from this period compared to this period, your volume is already starting to show noticeable increase here. Look at that. Volume is obviously higher than the previous weeks. By the way, I am looking at a weekly chart here. Every candlestick is worth 1 week. Okay. Next is, let me go back to our stocks here. Where did I stop? Yeah, I stopped at JFC. So if I'm to go back, Globe, let's take a look at Globe. Globe is about to trigger some more declines on a weekly chart. So I feel that in the coming days we might also experience the same. This is your support area, okay? But the volume is still there. The selling pressure is still on. Okay, so just be extra careful. Just in case you are interested in Globe, I'd say wait for probably in the event, okay, in the event this support is going to be respected, wait for a green candlestick to come out, probably similar to this one, right? You have a green candlestick coming out in the support area, and then what happened next is it somehow recovered very quickly and gave you a good 10% gain. So try to observe if there will be a green candlestick that will come out here, and then you can enter. However, if I am to look at the weekly chart, uh, it's not really looking good. I think we are going to have some more selling uh, sentiment in the coming days for this stock. Actually, weeks. Okay, so we might see that that kind of movement. The this stock is for now, since the month of May, it has been on a it's been respecting the downtrend channel. But if you're a long-term investors, then you're a long-term investor, then there's a stable quarterly dividend release for this stock. But if you can get it, if you can haggle at a much cheaper price, even better, right? So wait for it to probably drop around the 1,771. In case it will go back to that level, then that's a much better entry. There's also another one here. So that's why we need to plot several lines, because these are your key levels. When the price reaches this area, try to observe if you will have some recovery, then that's a good area of bounce. If it breaks, then the next area to watch out for would be 1,781, because it could also bounce in that level. URC. URC is, well, interesting. It is starting to uh, show some more bullish actions here on a weekly chart. Let's see how it pans out on a daily chart. Okay, so on a daily chart, wait for a few days. You might be able to haggle for a few pesos. And if it goes down, so looking at the weekly chart, our indicator is suggesting that it will most likely drop, and it would revisit your previous resistance, okay? Your previous resistance that can now become a support. And most likely by that time, this MA20 would move up to that area. Okay, so wait for it, 142.97. Okay, hopefully it does a long wick within the day, so put your order there and then wait for it to be executed by the system. Next is MBT. MBT might revisit this area first before it continues to rally to the upside. Okay, 42.90. It might go back to that level first before it goes up again. And the chances of it, yeah, this is a sign of weakness that I see. So most likely it'll go back to that level. But we are overall just starting to show an uptrend for the stock. So when it drops, it's not going to be huge. It's just a temporary drop, probably around 42.90 before it goes up again. Okay, so look at this level. It's been respecting this one too. Okay, that's your resistance that could now become your support. RLC. Okay, RLC had a good, well, I'm not saying good because technically it's a red, but so far it has been respecting the MA20 line. So probably you have to create a rule that if this stock breaks this line, because that's you are still in an uptrend, it's respecting the uptrend channel. But if it breaks this support that we have plotted here, then be extra careful, because we might have some more declines in the coming days. But so far, it's still respecting your support. Now, if there's a green candlestick to hope that will show on Monday, then that's a bounce. So you can just follow this trend, and if it does not break this trend, then good. You have an uptrend, continuous uptrend. So the moment this line is broken, then that's the time probably you can execute your stop loss levels. September, July, August, September. This stock gives her, I think, twice a year. Okay, that's RLC. What about TEL? Oh, TEL might also revisit your MA20 line, guys. It gave us a red last Friday, so it might go back to the 1,347.25. Okay, so normally when we're moving higher than MA20, it goes back to the MA20 and creates a bounce right at that level. Okay. AC. Well, for AC, wow, there's a resistance here. Okay. Okay, guys, so there's a resistance. I'm thinking there will be some profit taking that will happen soon. Okay. The reason why I said it is because I see this used to be a support, this became a resistance when we had a breakdown in the price and we started recovering, and we're sitting right here. So if this does not break this line, which is currently a resistance, it might go back to probably this level, your MA20 line. Okay, it might go back to your MA20 if it doesn't start on Monday, it doesn't start higher than 844. So we've already climbed significantly from the time it went all the way down here. So I think it's given that some traders will also be taking profit. Okay. So those are the key areas you need to watch out for. Now, I think that's it, right? I've reviewed from JFC, Globe, URC, MBT. I also reviewed RLC, PGOLD earlier, TEL, AC, plus the few other stocks I have reviewed. So if there are stocks that I may have not included in my review today that are also in your portfolio, please drop a comment so I can take a look at them and probably create another one tomorrow. And if you want this kind of content and you're into stock market as well, I'm inviting you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Now, if you would like Miss JD to share hot picks or stocks that I have thoroughly reviewed that are most likely or potentially going to bounce and good for position trading. So my recommended stocks are in my Patreon account. And if you can join me there, the link is down in the description box. I also do trade in the US market, mind you guys. The US market is very huge. In the Philippine market, sometimes your price is already being hit, but because there are not a lot of traders or investors in the Philippine market, even if you already placed the order, it doesn't get executed right away because of the volume. But in the US market, you'll be surprised that there's a really big potential in the US market. You have your stop loss levels, unlike in the Philippines, we don't have that, so you really have to monitor it. Also, in eToro, if you will trade there and you don't use leverage, you just use your funds, you don't pay anything. Okay, don't use leverage, you get zero fees. So if you want to also trade the US market, my link is there. You can create an account through that link and then just ping me if you need help. You can drop a comment, or you can join me in my Patreon account so I can guide you every step of the way. Okay, that's it for tonight. Thank you for watching, and you have a great weekend and stay safe. Okay, bye bye for now.